the central government on Thursday declared some of the regions of the 5 districts of Manipur as disturbed and reinstigated the Armed Forces Special Power Act after it was withdrawn from there 2 years ago. So what are the major reasons for the central government to again reimpose this AFSPA in the region? So in today's video, we will be discussing about the causes of the ethnic conflicts happening right now in Manipur, and we will also discuss something about AFSPA, how it got originated, what are the issues surrounding it, and what are the different types of powers the army will get through this particular AFSPA Act. So starting from the yesterday's declaration, yesterday the central government declared some of these districts as disturbed areas, and that includes Sekmai, Lamlai, Jiribam, Moirang, Leimakong and Kangpokpi. So these are the areas which are witnessing huge amount of violence in recent days, where we had about 240 people getting killed and so many civilians getting abducted. So why do we have so many conflicts happening in this particular region? So this is the map of the Manipur district. Let's try to understand the conflicts that are happening in Manipur by studying the different tribal groups that the Manipur has. Currently, Manipur is occupied by the tribal groups like Métis, Nagas, Kukis and the Mizo tribes. Okay, so here the Métis who occupy about 10% of the total Manipur's state, and especially in the valley region are mostly Hindus. Okay, and these Métis are the majority population in the Manipur, who contribute to about 50% and more of the total population of the Manipur, and they largely live in the Imphal Valley, as you can see here. Okay, so this is the region of the Imphal Valley where we have these Métis group to dominate, and then we have Nagas and Kukis as another set of ethnic groups who are mainly Christians, and they mostly reside in the hilly regions. So if this is the Manipur, we have the valley region getting occupied by the Métis population, and we have the hilly areas getting occupied by these Nagas and Kukis. Okay, so this is the setup of the ethnic groups location in Manipur. So what is the recent trigger that led to this amount of huge violence to happen in this region? So it all started because of the demand of these Métis population to scheduled tribe category. Okay, so the Métis population have been demanding the status of scheduled tribe category for more than a decade. Why? Because these population feel so threatened because of the insurgence of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, from Myanmar, etc. So in addition to the reservation in the institution and the government jobs, this particular groups feel that by getting the status of scheduled tribe category, they will have the ability to protect their ancestral lands, take care of their cultural interests and everything. This was something opposed by the Kukis who are living in the hilly region. Therefore, the High Court in April 19 of 2023 recommended the government to consider this particular recommendation and submit a report based on that, whether they should be given the scheduled tribe category status or not. This was something strongly opposed by the Kukis, and when the High Court recommended the government to consider this particular request and submit a report, the violence started to happen in the region. And in addition to this demand for scheduled tribe category, we also have other issues happening in this region around land rights. They also have conflict with respect to their views on inner line permit, government policies in the region. They also have cultural factors, political patronage, human rights abuses, etc. So let me give you an example of the issue that these two groups have over the inner line permit. So this particular inner line permit is nothing but a document which is actually issued by the government so as to enable the travel of Indian citizen into the disturbed disturbed area for a limited period, right? So this was something introduced by the Britishers, as we all know that when the tribes living in those regions fought against the Britishers, against their movements into their lands, the Britishers came up with this particular thing called as inner line permit, and especially it was taken up by the British administration in the Bengal Eastern Frontiers Regulation of 1873. So after independence, what happened is that even the Indian government felt the need for having such a permit system so as to take care of the security measures and protect the ethno-cultural demographics. Okay, so currently this inner line permit is in place in Nagaland, Mizoram and parts of Arunachal Pradesh. When it was imposed in Manipur, again it led to conflict between these two groups. Why? It is mainly because of the Imphal Valley. So, see, this is the map of the Manipur. It is surrounded by Nagaland in the north, Assam in the west, Mizoram in the south, and Myanmar in the east, right? So, here we have different ethnic groups, as I already told, Meiteis, Meitei Pangal, Nagas, Zomis, and Kukis occupying the region. The main problem is with this particular region, that is the Imphal Valley, and the main reason is, although these Meitei population and the Naga groups were having cordial relationship in the beginning, it was because of the introduction of ILP they started to have differences. It is mainly because these Naga groups who occupy different districts of the Manipur are claiming for consolidation of the regions inhabited by them into a greater Nagaland region, right? So that is why they are immune to this ILP in the Imphal Valley region where they have Meiteis population. Okay, so here we can see that this particular Imphal Valley is dominated by Meiteis population. It is surrounded by the Naga tribes from all the directions, so they have conflict over greater Nagaland, and that has made these hill tribes immune to ILP. So what is the take with respect to this ILP by the Kukis? They are not getting involved in this conflict. It is because they have their own demand to put forward, and that is they are fighting for a separate Kuki land. So this is about the inner line permit issue they both have. So these two things are the recent triggers, and from May 2023, when the High Court has actually made such recommendation to the government to consider the request of the Meiteis population to grant them scheduled tribe category status, the event started to unfold, right? So that has led to the huge amount of conflicts which are happening recently, and that has actually made the government to reimpose the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Now let's move forward to Armed Forces Special Power Act. So what is this particular act meant for? This act is meant for giving so much of powers to the armed forces to take care of the public order, okay, in the disturbed areas. So whenever we declare any area as the disturbed area, it is the responsibility of the armed forces to take care of the public order, and the armed forces get that power through this special act called as Armed Forces Special Power Act. So what are the powers these army people get through this act? They can prevent the gathering of 5 or more persons in the area, okay, whenever they suspect that there are huge number of militant groups inhabiting the region. They can prevent the gathering of even 5 or more persons. They also have the power to arrest the individuals without warrants on the basis of, which allows them to also open fire. They can even shoot at the people, causing death against any person in contravention to the law, or if they feel that they are carrying arms and ammunitions. So what is the important thing that you have to note here is that these powers are protecting the soldiers. When they are exercising such powers, cannot be subjected to legal proceedings for their acts done under the ambit of Armed Forces Special Power Act. And how did this Armed Forces Special Power Act came to India? Again, it was originated during the British period, when the Britishers introduced it to suppress the Quit India movement in 1942. Since unfolded after independence, necessitated such act in India also. Okay, so this particular act was in place in the entire regions of Northeast for a different time period. As you can see in the map, it was introduced in Nagaland in 1958. It was introduced in Mizoram in 1967 and removed in 1986. So almost all the regions of the northeast have been subjected to AFSPA in different time periods. Tripura, it was imposed in 1970 and then removed in 2015. In Manipur, it was imposed in 1980. In Arunachal Pradesh, it is imposed in 1987. Okay, in Assam 1990, and then in Meghalaya it was in place for almost 27 years, and it was removed by the center in the year 2018. Tripura withdrew AFSPA in the year 2015. Just remember these facts. Okay, and then moving forward from here, who can impose AFSPA and who can revoke it? So it can be imposed both by the center government as well as the state government through the governor. Okay, so initially it was only the center government, but after making an amendment in 1972, even the state government have the power to impose AFSPA, and then it is imposed on the entire state or in the parts of the regions after having the regions declared as disturbed. Okay, so currently the Union Home Ministry has declared some of the regions as disturbed in Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh and has extended AFSPA in those regions. Clear? And the notifications for the Manipur and the Assam was issued by the state governments only. So it is under the wish of both central as well as the state government to impose AFSPA in their region. And now let's have a look at the role of state governments in particular when it comes to the AFSPA. So although the power is given to both center as well as the state to impose AFSPA in any region, whenever the center government wants to impose AFSPA, it should go for consulting the state government informally. Clear? And if the state government is giving a recommendation, then the center government can take its decision to impose the AFSPA. And after that, the local police of the state is also given power in a way whenever any particular army person is actually taking control or arrest of any of the suspects, then the security forces have to hand them over to the local police station within 24 hours. Okay, so and then the armed forces must act in cooperation with the district administration and not as an independent body. So these are the important roles given to the state when it comes to AFSPA. And as we already discussed, the current reason for reimposition of AFSPA in these regions is because of the increasing violence as we can see in the recent time periods, especially in the valley regions. Okay, so why do we need AFSPA in first place? It is because the army wants to combat insurgency and protect the borders. So we have so many other security forces also operating in the region. Central Police Force, we have Assam Rifles and the army. So in order to combat the insurgents and in order to protect the borders, this particular act was created. And then security forces need to be covered by AFSPA, and there is also a need to protect the moral and the integrity of the army against the ambushes that is happening in the region. So these are some of the points supporting the AFSPA. But what are the issues with respect to AFSPA and why people keep protesting against AFSPA? It is because of the misuse of powers by the armed forces, especially because of the series of episodes of fake encounters happening in the regions. So we can see that in a writ petition that was filed in the Supreme Court in the year 2012 by the families of the victims, alleged that about 1528 of fake encounters happened in the region from 1979 to 2012 alone. And whenever we talk about AFSPA, we cannot forget this lady, that is Irom Sharmila from Manipur, who went on to strike, hunger strike in November 2000 and continued it till August 2016. Sometimes it is also suppressing the power of the state. That is, we also have bypassing state, where there have been instances where the center government has actually overruled the state, such as imposition of AFSPA in Tripura in 1972. Okay, so as we discussed, the state government should give the recommendation and center government should also take the consultation of the state government. So these are some of the common issues, that is issues starting from human rights violations, issues starting from fake encounters and misuse of powers that are going against this AFSPA. So what do you think? Do you think that whether we need AFSPA in place or not, and what are the possible implications if we completely remove AFSPA from all these regions? So please drop a message in the comment section. And that's it for today. I have an exciting announcement to make here. That is, you can use my code RIYA50 to get the UPSC CRC subscription for just 24,999, where you will be getting the plus course access to all these top educators classes, and that are going to be not only in English. You can also have access to your English batch, and you can also have access to your Hindi batch. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do like, share and comment. And if you have not subscribed to UPSC Warriors channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much and take care.